Welcome to the Michigan Runner Show. Join us each time as we explore the people, the places, and the events that shape our great sport.
With me is Paul Gianfrido, 83 of Muskego, Wisconsin, the oldest competitor to finish the race today. How did it go, Paul?
It was tough. The rain didn't help at all. Beautiful trail, but with the mud and everything, it slowed me down considerably, so my time was not what I had hoped to come in, but I finished, and that in itself is an accomplishment. This is my 87th marathon.
Have you ever done a trail marathon quite like this one?
No.
What was different about it?
The thunderstorm this morning was the highlight, I think. It really made a quagmire out of the trail. You stepped in it, and you were lucky to come out with your shoe on. So I had to go easy in those areas, and it made it tough to run. You know, what can you say? When you run a marathon, you take all kinds of weather.
We're with Jeff Crumbaugh after the second annual Grand Island Trail Marathon. It was a full experience. Jeff, tell me something about the day.
Yeah, we had a big rainstorm come through during the marathon, which made for great conditions for running, but the footing made it a bit challenging for the runners, especially on the more technical single-track portions of the trail. And as you can see now, the sun has come out, and it's very pleasant weather here on the island.
Tell me something about the turnout this year.
Well, we maxed out our full capacity. We had 300 runners in the marathon and 150 in the 10K. Good geographical distribution for our runners. Runners came from 27 different states, Canada, and Poland.
Now, 7 years ago, you helped start and are still the director of the Keweenaw Trail Running Festival, a 3-year race event in the Keweenaw Peninsula. This is sort of an offshoot about it. What are you trying to accomplish with, I guess, both races and then maybe this one in particular?
Well, we try to find the most beautiful courses in the Upper Peninsula, courses that really capture the imagination of the runner, that feature remarkable vistas and geographical formations. And Grand Island lends itself to a trail marathon quite nicely. The circumference of the island, the perimeter, is about 21 miles, and an inland loop to Echo Lake makes it a full marathon. So this works quite well as a destination race, and as a very, very scenic event.
Now, there's some interesting logistical challenges involved in planning a trail marathon on basically a wild island. Can you talk some about that?
Yeah, a lot of logistics, getting people over here. It's not a big island like Mackinac Island where there's regular ferry boat service, so we have to do quite a bit of negotiating with the ferry boat service to get people over. We also have to have a special permit to be on a wilderness island, and we have to limit our numbers. We follow fairly strict environmental guidelines. Our runners all have to carry water bottles that are refilled. We can't use paper cups. So yeah, a lot of logistics in terms of hauling equipment and permits and ferry boat service over to the island. I think we can do some environmental education with running, especially trail running, and we try to do that by composting all of our banana peels, and by having runners carry their own water bottles. The t-shirts that we have for our runners are organic cotton for the 10K and a recyclable polyester by Patagonia for our marathoners. So we do quite a bit of environmental education, and so that ties into my more full-time job as an instructor.
We're with Jim Engel, one of the originators of the Grand Island Trail Marathon, is a friend of Jeff Crumbaugh through running the Keweenaw Trail Festival, or the Keweenaw Trail Run a few times, and sort of lit a spur under him to say, maybe we ought to do something on this island. Can you tell me about the idea, Jim?
Well, each year I camp over at the tourist park, all my life actually, but recently I've been kayaking over to the island and running the island. And after I got to know Jeff at the Keweenaw Trail Running Festival, I said, Jeff, we got to have an event here. And after each camping excursion, I emailed him. And then a few years ago, he said, pick a date and we're going to get this thing started. And Jeff's the man to get things started and done.
Well, Jim, you described yourself originally as a co-race director, but you kind of discovered that maybe some people have the gifts of organization better than others. What is your role?
My role is to do what Jeff tells me to do, and I do it. More of the carry this, carry that, get this over here, get that over there, and Jeff organizes.
Well, there's a lot of that to be done in a race of this nature. Have you ever had a chance to run the trail yourself?
Oh, yes. I've run both marathons here, and proud to say I've run every race up in the Keweenaw Trail Running Festival for the last 7 years.
Well, anything interesting happened in the rain today that might be fun to talk about or share with some of our viewers?
Well, the slipping and sliding, we could have done well with skis on our feet in some areas, but just meeting all the people from all the different states that were actually here and getting their comments about the UP and whatnot, that's a lot of fun.
We've had our first bear sighting here at the Grand Island Trail Marathon, or Bearathon, as the bib here says. It's Mark Norfleet from Ann Arbor. Mark, how are the runners tasting this year?
Quite tasty. They're very good. We're softened up nicely by the rain.
I understand that some of them have picked up their pace considerably in the last 0.2 miles here upon their encounter with you.
Yep. They've been moving right along.
You finished the marathon actually yourself just a short time ago. How did your run go? How did you like the marathon?
I thought it was extremely difficult, and I was concerned about not being able to finish it.
Do you plan to run it again?
Yeah. I was very sore.
Take some more stills.
Dorothy Johnson of Indian River has finished either first or second in the women's 60 to 69 age group, the second annual Grand Island Trail Marathon, despite walking in a cast. What happened, Dorothy?
Well, a week ago I stepped off a step stool and had a little collision with the concrete and broke my arm near my wrist, and I got it casted 4 days ago, and the doctor said, no running for you. Mm-hmm. However, I said, I'm going to walk. He said, don't walk either and don't get it wet. However, I got through it today, and I think the weather saved me even though it rained. I had a bag over my arm, so I got to the end. And it was such a beautiful day despite the weather. I think the weather is what saved me, the lower temperature, but it was great.